and Michael.
This is Michael and Abi Adefisan. They are a super British Nigerian couple living in England in the UK.
Complete with some, YumChop jollof rice? Is that what I can see?
Jollof rice just to tempt you. We've got
oh my God. Abi, you know you're going to have to send this to me. This is so unfair.
I had such a super time speaking with them, and my only regret was that I wasn't physically near them so I could get my hands on that plate of jollof rice.
Oh, you look very well. And you see, I actually tried to match the jollof rice colors. Can you see?
Fantastic. We're kind of all
Hi, my name is Doreen and you're so welcome to my channel. If you've not yet subscribed, take a moment and do that now so that as soon as I release a new video, you are the first to know. Now, there's been so much talk in recent times of Africans in the diaspora moving back to Africa. I'm really keen to tell the other side of the story, which is that there's so many Africans in the diaspora who are making amazing and significant contributions to the societies in which they live. An example of such diaspora Africans, which is how I choose to call them, is Abi and Michael. They have come up with a fine innovation where they're selling African food like jollof rice, plantain and bean stew from vending machines in London in the UK. Yes, you heard that right. Now, I couldn't wait to speak with them. And I must say, it was really challenging having to do that and staring at that massive plate of jollof rice and puff puff in front of Abi. They are such a super couple. It was amazing speaking with them. Let's hear what they've got to say.
So, Michael and Abi, I know you're both from Nigeria.
Yes, we are.
How long has it been since you've been in the UK?
Well, I was born in the UK.
Right.
Yes, and I went back home and I grew back home, did my primary and my secondary school back in Nigeria. And then I came back here for my A-levels, university, etc. And 3 decades later, we're here, still here.
You're doing your malicious things.
Yes, indeed, doing your malicious things, absolutely. Yes.
Michael, is it the same story for you?
No, I was born in Nigeria. I'm
right.
Born in Lagos, so I can claim a Lagosian. So, but I came to the UK in 1995. So,
right.
It's been a journey since then. So,
okay, and that's how come you became the amazing diaspora Africans we know now.
Yes.
Go YumChop, go YumChop.
Yes.
When I first heard about this YumChop concept, first from my brother, I said to Abi earlier, I said, it is a lie. It can never be true that I can buy jollof rice and jerk chicken and puff puff from a vending machine in Victoria Coach Station. And that's one of quite a few that I believe you've got. We'll get into that.
Yes.
But I thought I need to speak with this amazing couple. I think what you've done is, for me, it's unheard of. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do not believe there's any vending machine anywhere in the UK from which I can buy jerk chicken and jollof rice. And I just had to speak with you. And, it's amazing to find out that before YumChop, you both had some totally different careers.
Yes.
I know you both now, just immediately before YumChop, you were both project managers, but
yes.
Abi, did you train as a pharmacologist? And I guess,
Absolutely.
So can you tell me a little bit about that journey?
Okay, so I trained, my degree is in pharmacology and biochemistry, and
right.
I worked within the health sector for quite predominant years, up to about 10, 15 years in the NHS sector. I became a project manager. I stumbled into being a project manager within 2 years of getting my degree, where I was told by my manager that actually you're not a behind the scenes person, you're very much a front person. And I think you're really good with people. So why don't you explore being a project manager? And then I stumbled into project management within the Department of Health to manage 5 different counties for a project within the NHS sector. And I did that for 3 years between 2002 and 2005. And that began my project management experience, which spanned across the NHS sector and moved into the private sector, moved into the Audit Commission, and overall almost 20 years within the project management field.
Wow. And now, rather than project managing for the NHS, you are actually feeding them some tasty hot food with an African twist. How amazing is that? And I like the use to which you're putting your biochemistry and pharmacology degrees, because food is medicine too, right? So I really like that twist on it. How about you, Michael? I know you probably did your degree in was it business information systems with some element of operations management?
Operation management, but the passion has always been about business, being creative, food. We love food, start cooking. So I graduated with a BSc honors from Buckingham University. So and I've since worked as a project and program management for a large pharmaceutical companies, a number of manufacturing companies across a number of sectors and across a number of regions as well. So that ability to travel to different parts of the world also adds to this world cuisine that we're trying to have an African twist to it. So yeah.
Right. And I see that was it actually you who, or maybe what I should ask is whose idea was this? Because I'm sure I learned somewhere that, did you come up with the first recipe for the jerk chicken, or please do tell, who will take the credit for this one? Was it him? Okay, Abi sent it to you. Can you tell us about it, Michael?
I've been doing jerk chicken since around 2007. So our recipe is quite unique. So it's a recipe, so all our products, we own our recipe. So it started off with inviting friends and family. You always meet myself and Abi in the kitchen. It's more like a competition. Who cooks first? Who cooks this delicious meal? So also our families and friends keep on saying,
you're cooking family.
You guys are always in the kitchen cooking. So I think it's just something we enjoy together.
Yes, and actually, to be honest, I think I would say it was Michael's recipe, really, to be honest. But we would always work together as husband and wife. We just enjoyed working together. But it was always his recipe, and he just enjoyed being outside, outdoor, making his barbecues. And every summertime, every single year, our friends always look forward to having summertime with us in the garden with the barbecue. Just really having fun.
So YumChop really started way back before you knew it was YumChop. And I love the fact that you've been taking the kids to the factory over the school holidays to actually, help out there. I think it's a great thing.
Thank you.
And tell me, so at which point did you think, I can understand the, hosting friends at the barbecues and making the tasty jerk chickens and all of that. But at which point did you think, okay, now I can sell jollof rice and jerk chicken from Victoria Coach Station, and I'm going to ask Westminster Council if I can actually do it. At what point? who actually came up with the idea?
Okay. So it's been a really quite a journey. It has been.
Right, I'm sure it has been.
And we kind of knew that we were really passionate about food, and at some point we knew that we would have to turn it into a business at some point. But at what point we weren't quite sure. But it became quite obvious to us just over 6 years ago when we really sat down and thought, we've got this food passion. What can we do about it? Michael is also very passionate about food waste, and so one of the things that we particularly do religiously in my house is we batch cook and we freeze all the meals. It literally packs everything and it freezes it. And so that was always the culture in our house. And we felt, okay, if we're going to turn our passion into business, what can we do? One of the things that we want to make sure is we want to reduce waste. We've heard about, the issue around food poverty and making sure, and
there is a lot of food waste.
Absolutely. And the amount
of wastage
that people are wasting. So we then came up with the idea of making frozen meals, and that was where the journey started. We started in these tubs like that, making frozen meals.
I've seen those. Those look more like ice cream, so I must say I'm quite pleased that you've changed them now. They look beautiful, but I think more about ice cream than my spicy jollof and jerk chicken.
I think that was one of the feedback. That was one of the feedback that we got, but I'll tell you a bit more of how we got there. So that was how we started with this meal pots, and we decided that we wanted to start selling them, as frozen meals, basically.
Yes.
One of the things that we were also very conscious about was about making sure that they have no preservatives, no added flavoring, no added coloring. We wanted to freeze the meals naturally, but also ensure that frozen meals means that you lock in the nutrients. You not only lock in the nutrients, but also you give it longevity of life. So which means our products, our meals, they have 18 months shelf life.
Wow.
And it's been tested and proven that's the amount of life it's got. So
and it will still be fresh once it's warmed in there.
Absolutely, and it still looks fresh when it's warmed and consistent.
See what she did with her biochemistry degree.
Yeah.
My biochemistry degree is not all wasted after all.
No, you see, I can absolutely tell you it's not been wasted at all. You put it to even better use, I'm telling you, because like I say, healthy food is also medicine. Sorry, were you going to say something?
Yes, I'm saying, I just said to myself that I'm going to have to send this part of the recording to my dad to say, you know what, my biochemistry is actually not wasted.
It's not wasted.
There's
it's in the middle.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Dad, she didn't waste it. She's putting it to very good use for a huge amount of people.
Absolutely. So when we started selling it to the corner shop, selling it to our friends, at that same point in time, our nieces, godchildren went to university in 2017, 2018. Right. And they would call because they know uncle and auntie, they cook a lot. They're like, auntie, I'm so hungry. Can you cook me some meals? Uncle, we're so hungry. And that was a light bulb moment for us, Doreen.
Yes.
Because it was like, a lot of our children in universities go to universities and they can't cook. They struggle to find homemade meals. And
they miss it.
Unhealthy meals, or come back home looking really skinny and gaunt. And that was where the idea that why don't we explore the option of supplying into a university?
Indeed.
And that was how the journey started, how we could supply into university. But one thing we also had in mind was that, we didn't want a restaurant. We couldn't have, there's no way we can have a restaurant in so many universities because we have young children. We wanted to have a work-life balance. And that was where Michael came up with the idea of a vending kiosk.
Yeah.
So the vending kiosk was Michael's idea. And I love the acronym you've coined for them. ARCs, right? It's an ARC.
Yes.
Automatic, what's that? Automatic
retail kiosk.
Retail kiosk. I absolutely love that, and the connotations of it, what the ARC stands for in the Bible, where everyone went to it for safety. And of course, food, a place you go for food is for sustenance. So I absolutely love that. It's a really nice pun you've got there.
Thank you.
So, Abi, let me ask you. Yes. So when Michael, he said, now this is a day of telling it all as it is. We can see that it's successful anyway, so you can say it. Michael, be ready for what you might hear. So when Michael said, Abi, my darling, I think that we can actually sell this from vending kiosks. Did you not say, hey, Chineke, look at this man, look at this man, my darling Michael, are you feeling all right? There was nothing like that. Tell me, please.
It's been. I say to my husband, I don't think anybody else has been made for him. I am the person that's made for him because he's a very big thinker. He's a big thinker, and he thinks big.
He thinks outside the box, right?
Absolutely. And he comes up with all of these innovative, crazy ideas.
Yes.
But crazy ideas.
It might seem crazy at first, but it really isn't, is it? And Michael, I really love what Abi has said there. I think it emphasizes the fact that, who you share your ideas with, whether it's your partner, your friend, a family member, is a very important thing, because the person might either inspire you or, totally break you and your courage and your inspiration and kill your idea. So hats off to you, Abi, for seeing his vision and supporting him to this stage, okay? Go, Mrs. Adefisan, go. You're an amazing couple.
Thank you.
This is all amazing to hear. And now we have this beautiful brand called YumChop.
Yes.
I love the fact that, first of all, I love the way it looks, you know, and hats off to you for your new packaging. Can you lift it up, the new one, so I can see that? It's beautiful. I love the fact that it's, yeah, oh, and you know, there's something about it playing on my mind. It looks a bit more generous as well as a portion. Yeah, I love that. So these are 3 different flavors, right?
Yes, there are 3 different flavors. Yes.
Yeah. And I love the fact that this packaging now is it's basically eco-friendly, right?
Yes.
I guess it's biodegradable. So
It is.
you are a socially conscious organization. You're mindful of the environment. And I'll tell you one thing that totally blew me away as well. I mean, for a new business, your hygiene rating for your kitchen is 5.
Thank you.
And I'm thinking that's the highest that you can get to. And I know, or, you know, supplying on some of the food platforms that we have, all you need is a 2. So for you to have 5, you're way up there on hygiene. And personally, I would have no reservations at all buying from you. So hats off to you. I think you've done really well there.
Thank you. Thank you. Just to add to that story, we also have what we call a UK manufacturing number. On, you know, so that is over and above the 5-star rating, because
there you go.
Which means we can not only supply our food across the UK, we can also export our meals. So we've been through the highest of audits by the Food Authority.
Yes, you're literally standing on top of the mountain, really. You are the pinnacle, you know, and now the world basically is your oyster, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
You can sell this anywhere you want. Did I hear you right when you said you could export?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. That's just so amazing. I'll tell you what, I know that right now you supplying to, definitely, I know about the Victoria Coach Station, because that's the first one that I learned about.
Yes, into London.
I was amazed to find that you also supplying to, is it Kettering General Hospital?
Yes.
You also mentioned Imperial College London. Are these all from the ACTS, the automatic retail kiosks?
Yes.
Or do you have some other system of delivery for selling in these outlets? Yeah, Michael, you can tell us about that.
Yeah, there's a number of channels. Just to buttress your point, the vision has always been global, and that's why the frozen nature of the product itself lends itself to any countries in terms of being able to export it. And for us, it's about showcasing world cuisine with an African twist to it, and that will bring in African meals to the mainstream. So the objective is just to make sure that it's home-style cooked meals that we're able to export out. So we've got the vending route, okay, which is what we are now deploying into the likes of the Transport for London, in a number of universities already, and also with the hospitals. The solution itself lends itself to big organizations with a number of employees that want to take tasty meal, quality meal. So I think there's a connotation around frozen meals that they are nasty, they're full of sugars. So those are the things that we are trying to change that connotation. And
I can totally see that so far.
Bringing African meal to that mainstream with a taste. So we're fortunate enough to be a company sitting between technology and meal productions. So it's not only that we have food, but it's a technology company as well. So we're always looking for innovative ways to do most of the delivery. We have solutions whereby you can do a click and collect facilities, you know, once you switch it on for this particular location. So we keep on improving what we're doing, but the solution going to London for us, the London market needs what we're bringing is of high quality, you know, it's from African, you know, and we just want to make sure that, you know, all our channels can really benefit on what we are producing.
So in addition to the channel that we, apart from the kiosk, we also do what we call a subscription meal club. So people can subscribe to YumChop meals every month. We have a number of packages. You can subscribe to a package of 10 meals. So you can have all jollof rice, fried rice, plantain and beans, all sorts of, you can mix and choose.
I've seen those. They look amazing on your website.
Thank you. So you can choose that and subscribe to that on a monthly basis, whereby for parents with children going to university, you can stock up for your children when they're going to universities. For hardworking, busy parents who are just working adults who don't have time to cook, they can always choose YumChop meals, to be able to choose different meals during the week when they can work, when they're working from home. If you want to do surprise meal package to people, it's their birthday, you don't want to give them a gift because they have most things, you can give them YumChop meals as a gift. So there's a number of channels, and of course there's our e-commerce where people can just buy directly from the website. And also we supply to local stores in our local area here in Northampton and Milton Keynes.
Wonderful. And these, we're not talking just any meals, we're talking well-packaged, healthy, nutritious, and also tasty meals, right? With an African twist. And I was so excited to find that you've also got things like pasta, for example, with an African twist. And then you've got the pizza pocket, I don't know how you're coming up with all of these innovations. Maybe you can shed a bit more light on the actual meals that you've got in there. I know I've mentioned a few, but I think there's much more than I know about. I know that I saw some plantain in one of the packages.
Yes, this is our spaghetti bolognese, which is the turkey bolognese. And, and in this
what's in there that's giving it that African twist? Is it the flavor, or what you're putting in it?
It's the method of cooking as well as the flavors and spices. So we've got one of the number of different spices that we're including in our product includes like the Cameroonian white peppers, the Scotch bonnet.
Yes, I know that well.
Our African Scotch bonnet, and just to say that we don't go over the top for the to go too spicy, because we want to make sure that our meals are accessible to as many people as possible. So I know that one thing
that suit different palates as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have different strengths. We have mild, we have medium, we have hot. So we try to stay in between sometimes. Because
are you able to make these selections from the axe?
Yes, from the app, you can make the selection. You can determine whether your meal is medium heat, or you can see if you want to go for the hot one, you can go for the hot one. Yes.
Right. That's absolutely wonderful. And what are some of the other things?
Plantain and beans.
Right. So wow. Oh, Abi and Michael. I know that one well. And talk about how nutritious that beans is.
Right, for the vegans, for those that are vegans, this is a top vegan product that we sell. The beans are really nice for you because they're really, really high in protein. They're really they're nice and very tasty. The plantain has that sweet taste, and if anybody knows plantain really well, they're kind of a different type of banana, and they have a sweet taste. And with the plantain combined with the beans, it gives you a really good texture.
It's beautiful. I can attest to that totally, because that's one of our staples in Ghana as well, where I'm from originally. So I totally understand where you're coming from.
Fantastic. And of course, we've got the puff puff.
Oh gosh! Oh wow! I saw it drizzled with some chocolate on you. Abby, you can't do this to me. Come on!
I know, right?
Oh my word!
I'm tempting you to come over.
You see, I should. I think we're going to actually have another session where I'm going to come and see you physically in there, because this is so not right. I should be basically eating and nibbling as we're speaking instead of being teased like this. Tell me, you also, sorry, Michael.
It's always good to be behind the scene with us so that you can see what is happening.
One day, exactly. I will be doing that. One day I'll definitely come over. Can you tell me a little bit about your delivery service? Is it within 30-mile radius of Milton Keynes, or?
Yes, we have a delivery within 30. Sometimes we go a bit further out than that, but we're really focusing around Milton Keynes, Northamptonshire, and London.
Right. Okay.
And our deliveries are on Tuesdays. So we have 3 slots: Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays between 5 and 9.
Okay, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays between 5 and 9. I was going to ask you how you had managed this, because it's free, right? Free delivery within 30-mile radius.
Within 30 miles radius, it's free. Anything over and above that, it's charged.
Right. Okay. That's the difference between the edge of the 30-mile, right?
That's right. Yes.
Okay. Okay. You know, this is just so, it's so commendable. You are so innovative. You are so creative, you know, and not just that, the product is so tasty. It's such a fine product. It looks beautiful. I like the thinking behind it, the spirit, your enthusiasm. Now, this is the glory that we're seeing. I know that along the way there might well have been challenges. Mm-hmm. Would you mind sharing some of those challenges with us, Michael, and maybe letting on as well how you overcame those tough times?
I think the one that springs up to mind is the pandemic that we've all just been through and gradually
yes.
We actually moved into the factory 2 days after the pandemic lockdown. So we, you know, right from the start of the pandemic, you know, it's been an uphill struggle.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
No, we didn't see that coming, and everything was fine. We're getting ready. We got a number of universities that lined up to take on the machines, you know. Everything was rosy, everything pointing forward, and suddenly we got this massive break, you know. And going into the factory, we just have to decide. Myself and Abi said to ourselves, are we going to swim, or are we going to sink, or are we going to, you know, or survive? You know, we made up our mind that no matter what it is, the pandemic, when we recall about pandemic, we'll say, okay, that's the time we actually, you know, it takes the business to a greater height. So what we did really to quickly did a lot of assessment to see what can we do, okay? Our major focus market was at the universities, and all the universities were closed down. So we only had one machine throughout the pandemic that was really working, okay? And that was at Kettering General Hospitals. And even at that point in time, everybody was supplying the hospital with meals, including ourselves, because the NHS staff were doing a great job. So, you know, so it was the free meals that we're also providing in addition to what we're doing to the universities. So we took that point in time to say, okay, what can we do? Then we started investigating the different kind of tender opportunity, because one thing we've learned is our business model is resilient. So any investors, I can confidently tell to any investors that the business model that we have is resilient, because during the pandemic, when most of the catering facilities were closed down, restaurants were closed down, because we are actually a manufacturing company that is also doing retailing, we were left open. So I can confidently tell any investor that going forward with any new pandemic or anything coming down the line, now that we've actually diversified the market, then it gives us a guarantee to maximize the opportunity in future. So what did we do? We applied for a number of tenders. We realized that the national NHS contract was up, you know, and being a small SME, you know, myself and Abi being behind the scenes.
Yes, strong team.
Getting all the criteria done. We were successful at that, and we were awarded the food and drinks with the NHS for the next 4 years to be able contract as a preferred supplier into the NHS. So we have that contract in place, but we didn't really want to just sit down on the laurel that we won this. Then we started having an engagement with Transport for London. So the Victoria Coast Station you're seeing is our arrangement or the contract that we have with Transport for London to roll out. Correct. It's rolling out to the first 50 location on Transport for London estates. You know, so the experience during the pandemic has shown us that we cannot be sector specific. It cannot just be the university. So, and changing our strategy.
Well learned, right?
Correct. So we came up with a strategy. A single strap line is to capture London. So we want all Londons, you know, people that love jollof rice, the fried rice, the coconut rice, the beans and plantain.
All Africans.
All mixed. All Afro-Caribbean, the jerk chicken.
Yes.
You know, so, and the vegans, because all our rice also, we have the vegan option.
Stop it. I'm getting so hungry right now.
You know, so
my word.
We really want to showcase that African, you know,
yes.
And just to add to that, I know I mean, as an SME and not only people of color business, one of the major challenges that we've had to encounter is about funding. And funding was always an uphill for us. We've literally given everything that we have. We've sold our blood and, put properties to be able to fund this highly capital intensive project. We've been able to also get support with the Black community, so friends and family, where the next 10 machines that we're going to be rolling out is as part of a franchise to be able, where we Black people have been able to put the money together, because going to banks with not many collaterals, it was difficult to be able to get the support of the bank behind us. But we've been able to raise the funds, not only the funds to actually convert this facility that we're actually speaking in, our manufacturing facility, convert this from a rundown property, which was 2 years rundown, and we literally opened it, gutted it all out, and rebuilt it from the ground to be able to do that in the pandemic, with no revenue coming and with no backing by the bank. It's been a miracle. We are people of faith, and God has been faithful to us. But I have to say that, it's been a real slog, and some days you just didn't know how you're going to get over the challenges of getting the funds, getting the investments, the support. But we've been able to now have a facility where it is now 24/7 hours. We can have it available. We have the facility to meet demand, and and it's just phenomenal. But it's not without so many challenges that we've had to be able to put this together.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you've talked about funding, because that's something I was going to ask you about, because someone might be watching this thinking, okay, well, I might want to go and sell, I don't know, kenke and fish, from Liverpool Street Station. Why not? We have jerk chicken, jollof rice. Why not? And they might be thinking, how am I going to raise the finance I need for this? Because I can see bits of your factory from your, social media content that I've come across. And even without seeing that, looking at the ark itself, the equipment, I'm thinking, wow, this must have cost so much. So I'm glad you've touched on that for, anybody watching who might be thinking of a similar venture, to know what you actually went through. And I think I love the fact that you acknowledge that, because this program is all about inspiring, Africans in the diaspora and Africans everywhere, basically, to exceed their wildest dreams and wildest imaginations, and to know that it's possible. People like you are just the beacon for that kind of thing. And you just send that message out that it's possible. So well done to you. Can I ask you, are you actually open to investment from, potential investors, people who might want to invest in YumChop? Because I can see big things for YumChop. This is food we're talking about, right? And you made it in such a way that it's so accessible and it's so scalable, even on a global level. So
Absolutely.
Can you?
I think yes is the simple answer. I'm glad you know that we're leading the charge. For us, being able to open up that market and that drive that people can see something and can push for it is key. The global drive for me is we can't do it on ourselves. So it's important that I say at this point in time that the first rollout that we're doing into London, we are actually changing the narratives. The narratives has always been that Black people don't invest in Black people, I'm going to use this opportunity to thank all the current franchisees that have invested in this vending concept with us, the first phase. And so the second phase is out now, which is going to be closing on the 6th of May, So you can actually reach out to us if people are interested in franchising.
Excellent. So can you say that again, Michael? You have the franchise opportunity launching 6th of May. So it's anyone who would like to own a franchise.
It's actually ending 6th of May. It's
out ending or starting?
1st of April. So the second phase started on 1st of April. So the end date is the 6th of May. So if you're interested, just reach out to us through our email, and I can share all the details with you.
Wonderful. And just briefly, I know you'll share the details when inquiries are made, but is it a franchise to operate an ACK? Is that how it would work?
Correct. So the current franchise model that we have is called the managed franchise. YumChop Food still manages this, so it's really just for us having that centralized control. So it's really just providing returns based on forecast of what we're doing. So that way we guarantee the quality of what we're doing is consistent. Yeah. So we're not asking investors to come and start running it. The only way you run it is just keep on promoting anywhere you've invested. So telling people that you go Jollof rice in Stony Stratford, in Liverpool Street. Yeah. But for us, that is constant.
I know the marketing is a big part, right?
Correct. So it's a managed franchise that we think that London will consume it, and we can actually expand it across board. And for the wider audience that are really looking to invest into YumChop, there's a lot of opportunity. People just need to, pick up the phone, pick up the email, speak to us. Yeah. We are open to, to investment.
Great. I really can see the role that both your project management experience has actually played in this venture. Abi, I know that you're a project management professional, right? Yes. And I know, and I know that Michael is a senior IT project manager as well. I said to you when we first spoke that I can see ICT written all over this, and you've acknowledged that as well. This is just, I almost can't see how you would have arrived at this stage without those skills, so hats off to you, the way that you've married those two and all of your life experiences and education and all of that. I think that that's something I really pick up. The other thing that I'd like to say is I really like the way that you acknowledge that you can celebrate culture through food as well. Okay, so it's not just, maybe the dance or the music. Culture can also be acknowledged and celebrated and shared through food. And for doing that through YumChop, I think that, again, all hats up to you. What I'd like to say, moving on from the challenges that you've experienced, has there ever been a time when you felt like quitting?
Quitting?
Along the way till now, or even sometimes now?
I would probably say, not that the thought doesn't come to my head sometimes that this is exhausting. It's very time consuming. It's very intense. And, and in any one day, you can have your most exciting day, your most wonderful day. And at the same time, you can have the worst thing ever that happens to you. For instance, two weeks ago, we had a massive impact on our website, and our website went down, and we're still trying to solve that problem right now. So, so to say quit, I think probably not to quit, but sometimes you get the exhaustion because it's kind of like the job of a mother, where your job is never done as a business person. And however, you know that you have to keep going. You can never switch off, even when you want to switch off. However, when I look back at the journey, Doreen, it's been quite a journey for us. And I think at every section, every junction of our journey, we've not only seen how we've grown, we've adapted, we've developed, we've become more stronger, we've become more resilient. But I can see the hand of God at every junction as we've journeyed through this journey for the last 5 years. I think worst of all would have been during the pandemic. And like Michael alluded to earlier, we decided, sometimes you have to decide, because that was really the time where it was either a make or break for us during the pandemic.
I think for a lot of people, and many people broke, basically.
Many people broke. So we are so
unfortunately, through no fault of theirs either.
Absolutely. We are so fortunate. We are so blessed that we not only, when we had all our revenue went to zero during the pandemic, and we had an empty shelf, which we call this facility right now, that needed a lot of work to be done, over £100,000 of work needed to be done during the pandemic, when we were not earning any money at all. If there was any time to have given up, that would have been it. But we were graced, and God blessed us that we were able to work through that journey step by step, day by day. And to be honest, it was a day by day journey, you know, you could never tell what was coming at you, but we kept journeying along. And Michael and I also, we kind of find a way of really connecting with ourselves, connecting, and you know, really we've learned to hold on to our faith in this journey. And I have to say, our faith has helped us through this journey to come to the end of this pandemic and to be still here. It wasn't just our resilience.
Sorry to interject, Abi, but I'm really glad that you've touched on faith. Yes. Now, I know that, and this is one of the reasons why I admire you so much as a couple and where you are in your journey now and what you're doing, that when you got married ever so sweetly in 1997, I believe it was, you were so excited, as you know anybody would be when they get married. You know, you were looking forward to a happy life together with a home full of, you know, the sound of the feet of babies and all of that. I'm sure the grandparents were waiting for the grandchildren and all of that.
Yes.
And then you found that you had to wait 10 years. It wasn't until your 10th wedding anniversary that you were blessed with the first of your 2 beautiful sons. Yes. And then you went on to have another. Now, I know that's an entirely different story in itself. It's probably something we'll have to cover another day, you know, and Abi, at that point, I'll probably ask you more about your lean project and all of that.
Yes.
But I pick up there that you're both strong people of faith, you know, and specifically the Christian faith.
Yes.
And so, leading on from my previous question of, do you ever feel like quitting? I'd like to know, does this faith play a role in your, or rather, what role does this strong faith in God play in your personal and professional lives that has even helped you through the challenges that you've been through? And then also, has it played any role in uplifting you in those moments when you feel like quitting?
Yes, a good example. I'll start off by giving a good example of what David did at Ziklag. Okay? So there's a story around David arriving back home at Ziklag in the Bible.
Yes, I get you.
Where there was a raid and all the families were taken and the whole place was burnt. Okay?
Yes.
One thing that I always bring up to mind is he went back and said, God, should I go after them? Will I recover it all? So times whereby I'm so low, you know, I always go back, you know, you get that inspiration that God, you know, he always gives you, what's the word? A sign. I call it a sign, you know. Maybe at that low time is when you're going to get a call from somebody like yourself said, oh, we've tasted your meal. It's so lovely. Yes. It's so nice. You know, and you get recharged. Okay, somebody likes the meal. Somebody likes the meals, you know. So
and then you feel inspired.
Yes, we take that cue and you just take a step back and just say, you know, God, what are you saying? So at every time that we've been to that low point, okay, it's either my wife, you know, or myself, we're exchanging a book, you know, Christian books, and I say, oh, you need to read this now, okay, and we'll get inspired, okay. But the baseline has always been our Christian faith.
Can I just add to that, Dora?
Yes, please, Abi.
One of the things that I particularly do as a woman of faith is I do a lot of journaling. And journaling, that is my way of expressing my inmost thoughts, and also a way where I feel I have a communication with my God. And, you know,
does it de-stress you? Does it help you de-stress as well?
It really does distress me. And
it's actually a very healthy thing to do.
It is indeed. Yeah. And I find doing that, you know, it's really ways of really expressing everything within me, you know, and writing it down is such a stress relieving, and also really it just helps me to lift me up. And I find that really, really helpful. And I don't know anyone out there that may want to take that up, but certainly that's something I would like to put in the pot, that, you know, journaling is a way that you can use that to express your feeling towards God, towards, you know, what you're hurting about, what you need, what questions you've got. And every time I have written my questions down to God through my journaling, there was always come an answer again through that journaling or through the Bible. And that has always worked for me. And I have to say, in the most difficult time, which this last 2 years, and I'm not saying that apart from this last 2 years that we haven't had difficult time. Yes, we have had, and you alluded to the issue around fertility, which we had for most part of our married life in the first 10 years. But certainly I know without a shadow of a doubt that having that faith and having that supernatural intervention has been really helpful for our journey and helps us at every junction of life when life is you're about to give up on life.
I totally agree with you. And now you have this inspiring story to tell. Because usually, when we see people, having a happy life and everything seems so great and all of that, we kind of don't realize that they too have had their challenges. And that's why I was so grateful when I said, can I ask you about this? And you totally did not mind speaking about it. I think that it's important that these kind of stories are shared, because they stand to inspire other people, to let them know that the road is not an easy one. But when you've got the tenacity, you've got the courage, you've got the resilience, and above all, when you've got a faith, and I would always recommend the Christian faith. I appreciate that not everybody is of the Christian faith, but I totally recommend it. But whatever your faith, I think it's so important that you have something that you can fall back on in those times when you're low. And you and Michael are just absolute proof of that, that through all the challenges of life, when you face it with the right attitude, then you totally come out victorious with an inspiring story to tell. So I guess what I'm trying to say in other words also is that we must embrace our challenges. Would you agree? A long life's journey?
Yes.
Because, through them come all of these amazing stories that we can share to inspire other people, right?
Absolutely.
Michael, what are your thoughts on that?
No, absolutely. It's right on point. And from my point of view, it's also important to draw out at this particular junction that the relationship also is the bedrock of it. Okay, in terms of myself and Abi, having that relationship, you have a one-to-one relationship with the Lord, but the ability to actually, think as one. Okay, there isn't any plan B. The plan is only one plan A that want to get it done together and to achieve and to respect one another, to love one another. So that's really where we are. This is 25 years going, and we're still trying to get to our honeymoon. So.
And you guys look 25. You do look 25.
Absolutely.
More blessings on you in every way. It's just so amazing speaking with you guys. Honestly, I feel so inspired and challenged as well, to think outside the box myself. It's always great having these conversations because you inspire me so much, and can I just say, what would you like to tell my dear friend watching now? If I were to ask you to, share some piece of advice, I think that hearing from you and the journey that you've traveled to date, I think you must have something to share to inspire my dear friend.
Okay. I'll say a couple, and then I'll give Michael the chance to say his
Yes,
one.
please, either one of you.
Yes, and I think for me, your attitude determines your altitude, and it's so important that life, like you said, is a journey. And yes, you can have big dreams, you can have wonderful dreams, but life does throw things at you that you will never
at
ever
the most unexpected times, right?
Absolutely. And you get all of these curveballs coming at you. You're going down that way and the curveball goes you. And just because you've gone through one challenge doesn't exempt you from the next challenge and the next one coming. So I want to say to people that
that's a very important point, Abi.
Determines your altitude. And when life happens, don't see life, when you're given a lemon, don't make bitter lemon. Please make lemonade and make the most of it, and enjoy life, And I'd like to say to people to enjoy life wherever you're at, no matter how hard things are, Find the little moments to enjoy your life and, and leave. Don't wait for the big things to happen before you enjoy life. That's so, so important. And I think finally, I would say is that when you have an idea and you want to make it happen, don't ever think, oh, I'm not experienced in that. Oh, I can't do that. Never put yourself out like that. We went into this business not because we worked in the food industry. No. Do we have a nutritional background? No. Do we have chef background? No. Are we professional cooks? No, we're not. We have been IT professionals and project management professionals, and we have now got a food manufacturing business. Not because we are the specialists in food manufacturing. No, we've turned our passion into food. And one of the things that we've discovered is that you can learn if you want to learn. You can change and become who you want to be if you apply yourself. And that's what we've had to do. We've applied ourselves. We've learned. It seems like I've been through an MBA. And one of the things that I am doing as a giving back is we're giving training. We're going to be supporting people who, like ourselves, don't have any work experience or any chef specialist area. If you want to go into food business and you want to take your food business to the next level, we want to be able to support people to make them not only have that dream, but actually actualize it.
Amazing. So you're happy to share your experience and your skills and all of that with people who want to travel the same road.
Absolutely.
I also pick up something from what you've said about, you can do what you have no experience in. I think one important thing you've mentioned there about, because I know you use chefs, right? Is that you go out and then you get the skills that's needed to support what you're doing. And I think, again, your project management experience speaking there, how you put the skills together that you need and the equipment, that you need to bring your dream alive. Michael, a word from you as well?
I think I just want to round it up with the acronym LLA. And that stands for listen, learn, and take action.
I love that. LNA, listen, learn, take action. Oh, wow. Wow. And then keep the faith as well.
Yes.
That's amazing. I tell you, especially because of what you've just said, that you're happy to share, and perhaps nurture upcoming entrepreneurs in the food industry as well. People might be wondering how they can reach you. So how can my dear friend watching reach you, for example? Or maybe people who want to buy, people who would like to invest, how can they reach you?
So they can reach us on our email. If they email us on sales@yumchop.co.uk, Michael and I will be able to pick any of the emails coming through there.
Comes directly to us.
Right. Okay. Guys, it's been amazing speaking with you. I just have one big regret that I dared to have this chat remotely. I mean, look at all this food. It could have been in my belly. Yummy in my tummy.
I know.
But that's entirely my fault. So I do need to find time and make it down there. Would you mind? Am I able to come around the factory, have a look, what's happening, maybe meet some of your chefs and all of that?
Absolutely.
Okay. I think we'll plan that, right?
We'll plan that. Or also when we're going to be launching our next vending kiosk, so we will keep you informed. We can invite you to join us for the launch.
Yes, please. I would absolutely love that. Oh my goodness, Michael and Abi, it's been such a pleasure speaking with you, honestly. And I couldn't thank you enough. I know how very busy you are, and I thank you so much that you agreed to speak with me, take time out of your super busy schedules. And all that's left to say now is that, I am so proud of the two of you. You are amazing diaspora Africans. You are so exemplary. You are so inspiring. I admire you for your hard work, your resilience, your creativity, your tenacity. I could go on and on and on. And you are such a blessing, not just to me, but to anyone watching as well. And especially also, I'd like to commend you for how high you are flying the flag of Africa, and sharing the rich African experience through your food, the food that you're supplying through YumChop brand.
Thank you.
You are definitely fearfully and wonderfully made in every way. And my wish for you is that, you know, everything that you dream of, your wildest dreams, come to pass, that you can go global. I should have actually asked you, can you actually say briefly before I go on, what we can expect from YumChop? I believe we alluded to that earlier, but maybe you can just say briefly before I go on.
What you can expect from YumChop is we'll keep on growing. Okay, in terms of our meals, you know, 50 locations in London is the first phase we're going for.
Yes.
We're trying to get into the NHS nationally for the contract that we have. So we want to inspire more people, want to take on more apprentices from the community to just, you know, inspire people to actually, you know, get, you know, something tangible out of our experiences. We want to be able to share, you know, but it's a global brand. We want to, you know, YumChop to be everywhere. So
we're going to be seeing more kiosks and all that, especially through the franchise.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Who knows? One day I might go on holiday somewhere in some country far away, and then I might see YumChop in a vending machine somewhere.
Yeah. Because it's yummy.
Oh my God!
Tummy.
You see, yummy in my tummy.
Yeah.
Wow, guys, you are just super amazing. Thank you so much. I'm sure that my dear friend watching would be definitely inspired from, you know, this conversation. Like I said, just you keep going, keep the spirit. You're such a huge inspiration, and others like me can learn from you. So keep just overcoming all of those barriers. And I know that I serve the same God that you serve, and I know that He keeps His word, and He's doing all of this to the glory of His holy and mighty name. So may He keep blessing you too, that you acknowledge this in your work towards inspiring other people and sharing with us the evidence of Christianity and the power of God and how much He can bless us. Thank you so much. Stay amazing, stay great, and I will be watching this space. May your creative juices keep flowing so you can bring us even more yumilicious goodies from YumChop.
Yes, thank you so much, Doreen.
You're very welcome.
Speaking with you today, and we're just really grateful. Thank you for giving us your platform to come and share with you our dream, our vision. You know, we really appreciate you. So may God bless you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing with me the story behind your beautiful, beautiful brand. And I look forward to greater and bigger and even better things to come.
Keep watching.
Keep watching.
Thank you so much. You take care. Bye.
Bye.